we're up on a dry plain, and there's no real rivers around here, or no real creek systems. The Weir River is probably about 3 k's that way. Most of this country here between the Weir River and the Moonee River, and there'd probably be about 20 kilometres between them, it's all fed by bore water. And most of our bores, not all, but most of our bores are fed on the Great Artesian Basin, which means all of us that draw from the Great Artesian Basin are connected to each other. And so if the Great Artesian Basin is upset in any way, that means we're all going to be upset. And seeing as though we don't have any creeks and rivers around here, all the cattle that you can hear in the background are going to have a problem. And that's why so many farmers have got an issue with CSG, which is coal seam gas exploration, and the fracking that's required in order to extract it. You see, there's so many different layers of water down there. There's different qualities of water, as well as different amounts of water. Now the Great Artesian Basin is quite deep down, and then there's these sub basins in between. One of our farms has a sub-artesian basin, and the thing is that with all these pilot holes that go down looking for CSG, as well as of course the actual CSG wells themselves, cut through these basins, and of course all the layers of water all end up flowing down and up and down and mixing and matching. So although you may not be extracting that water for CSG, you may be putting a hole down so that water drains out of that basin down lower, and therefore that farmer that used to be able to extract from that underwater basin can't extract anymore, and he's got to dig much deeper down. The costs go up, and of course in the meantime, while he's trying to dig a bore, because often he can't get a bore rig because the bore rigs are all digging for CSG or drilling for CSG, his cattle are out of water. So there's a lot of problems involved in CSG. It's not just farmers going, oh, we don't like new things. It's plain and simple. These cows, my sheep, our livelihoods all rely on bore water. And if it's contaminated in any way, or again, if it's all the different seams start flowing into each other, we're stuffed. But anyway, this here is run by a little diesel engine. This bore is actually a share bore. There's 3 farmers that will share this bore here. For this farmer here, it pumps up into his turkey's nest, and then for another 2 of us that are further away, it pumps right up onto some high tanks and then reticulates down from those tanks to his farm and also my farm. But there's just enough in this tank here to fill our 3 tanks up the top there. Out of there, and you can see all that spraying. That's the water that's coming up from several hundred feet down below, and the pressure that's pushing it out there is because it's not going to this turkey's nest just here. It's going about 4 kilometres uphill towards our tanks, and then our tanks will reticulate it down. So there's a lot of pressure from that bore to go pull it out of the ground and then up the pipe all the way to my farm and the tank. You can see here, this is the traditional way of storing your bore water. This is called a turkey's nest. The reason it's called a turkey's nest, of course, is because it's an above ground earthen tank. So just like the turkey's nest is a mound above ground, And the water just pumps up here, straight into here for this farmer, and then for him it goes to some tanks, to some troughs just over there. I think he's got some more troughs over here. The problem with turkeys' nests is that there's a large area of water that's exposed to evaporation, and also it's got a wall and an earthen base, therefore the water can reticulate down into the soil. So there is losses there. And the other thing, of course, is that you do get, you can see there's some turtles in there at the moment, or tortoises I suppose they're called. They of course mix it up and make it a bit muddy. So the water quality isn't good as on our place where we pump the bore water straight into cement tanks and those cement tanks into troughs. So it just keeps the quality really good. So important for your cattle and sheep to get perfect quality water. That way they stay healthy, and you know, at the end of the day, we all like to have a clean drink of water. So that's the importance of clean water. That's the importance of making sure that our bores are not affected by CSG mining and the fracking that comes with it. But at the end of the day, we've all got resources. We've all got resources that we need to look after. And don't ever think when you hear farmers jumping up and down that they're just whinging. This is really important to us, and so when you hear the radio talking or the TV talking about CSG, listen in, because it is really vital for the entire food chain of Australia to be tuned into what's going on. I better get back to work.